Right, as we approach the end of Heritage Month, just a quick update on some news on the declaration of not one but several new national heritage sites linked to our Muslim community. On Monday, it was announced that the Kramat of Sheikh Yusuf in Macassar is to receive national heritage status, along with 9 other Kramats around the country. And to explain the significance of these sites, we joined on the line by Ben Mwasinga, who is the manager for the Built Environment Unit at the South African Heritage Resources Agency. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Pippa.
I think most listeners will have some sense that a Kramat is the grave or the shrine of a holy man of the Muslim faith. Can you speak to us a little bit about the significance of these sites, particularly for the Muslim community?
All right, you are indeed correct that a Kramat is a site of significance, or where a Aluya is buried. So it is immensely significant, as these are considered to be the individuals who are the founders of Islam in South Africa, specifically the Cape as well. So we have about over 20 identified Kramats within South Africa, or within the Cape specifically as well. And these sites, have over 300 years of history and relate to individuals from Southeast Asia who were exiled in the Cape and who were brought here as slaves and began the original Muslim communities within South Africa.
Ben, given what you've just said, that there are more than 20 identified in the Cape Peninsula area alone, what made you choose specifically this shrine of Sheikh Yusuf in Macassar to be the one designated with heritage status?
All right. Well, basically, Sheikh Yusuf is considered to be the founder of Islam within the Cape. He was brought here in the 1690s. Basically, he was resisting Dutch colonialism in Macassar, which is where he came from at that particular point in time. So because while there are more than 20 that form a circle within the Cape, though specifically Sheikh Yusuf's one is considered to be a site of pilgrimage, not just to Muslims in South Africa, but to Muslims who are also residing in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., etc.
Okay.
So it is considered to be the pinnacle, or the initial, the first site of, or the first Kramat that might have been developed in South Africa, specifically relating to Sheikh Yusuf's contribution to basically resisting colonialism in Macassar, his hometown, but also to the fact that Sheikh Yusuf offered refuge to slaves at the time who were brought here as well to the Cape. And that's how that community developed. So it is immensely significant in that of these 20 sites, this one could be considered to be the very first site.
Okay. Ben, I know that this is a process to have a place declared a national heritage site. What sort of timeline are we looking at to see that process completed, and what will it mean for the site at the end of the day? Will there be any kind of development happening on the back of this declaration?
All right. Well, basically, you declare a site in order to ensure that there's responsible development, all right? Mm-hmm. Ultimately, you don't want the site to be impacted negatively. So you wouldn't allow, for example, a residential area to form around the site because that's undesirable and it would impact negatively on the site. So we declare in order to conserve, so we wouldn't actually allow the development, would actually restrict development or only ensure that developments that happen there are basically related to the site in any sort of way. In terms of timelines, it was announced on Monday that they are looking at the 20th they're looking at April next year as a potential date for declaration. But in terms of the process involved, we are still in conversation with the Muslim Judicial Council in order to receive a nomination of this site and potentially others so that we can have a serial nomination. So it just depends on the internal processes and as well as public participation. When you declare a site, you have to basically consult a large amount of stakeholders in order to ensure that everyone's interests are met in terms of the declaration.